Bitmoji Classroom Tutorial. Today, I want to show you how you can insert all the images you want into your Bitmoji Classroom scene, how you can hyperlink, and how you can create this composed email where students don't have to type in your email address, and you even suggest what they could include in their email. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I do is I actually open this up in PowerPoint and I create it in there, and that's just what I usually make all of my stuff in. And then we're going to export it as a PNG. So I deleted the text boxes out of a new presentation, and then I'm going to insert an online picture. And I just typed in brick wall, and now you can see I'm resizing that brick wall so that it's going to cover the entire screen. And then I'm dragging it up just a little bit because I want there to be a floor and for this to feel a little bit more three-dimensional. So next, I'm inserting another online picture, and for this one, I ended up having to Google shiplap clip art, and this is one I use a lot. You can see right here, it's kind of like a light wood, and I have this light shiplap in my classroom. So I'm going to resize this as well, and I want it just to fill the bottom of the scene, and this will be like hardwood floors. So not really what my classroom has, but this is a Bitmoji Classroom, so I can make it whatever I want, right? All right, so now that we've got our background sized, the next thing we want to do is start locating images that we can fill our Bitmoji Classroom with. So I'm going to go and do a Google image search, and I just typed in chalkboard clip art. Now, if you've never done this in images, know that when you click on images, you can go to tools and you can filter it by the usage right. So you can go to labeled for reuse with modification so that you know that that's an image that you can use and share. And I found this chalkboard image that I wanted to use. So what I do is I save it to my computer. And this one doesn't really have a background. It has a tiny little white edge on the sides, but for me, that's okay. So now I'm going to go into my PowerPoint and I'm going to insert that image. I could have just copied and pasted it, but I typically like to save clip art to a folder so that way I have it later on my computer and it's easily accessible. So now all we need to do is resize that. All right, so we need to add other images to start creating our classroom and customizing it. And of course, you're going to want to do your very own to make it unique to you. So I, of course, had to include plants. So I did a simple Google image search, and I just typed in succulents, black and white pot. And then I found one that I liked. Now, one thing to know is that when you're in images and you've clicked on the images, you can filter it using the tools button. And when you click on that, you can make sure that it's labeled for reuse with modification so that you know that you're allowed to use that and change it and put it in your scene. You're simply going to find an image you like, you're going to save it, and then the problem is we've got to get rid of that whole background because we don't want these square photos on our bookshelf. We want just the succulents. So you're going to Google remove background. You'll go to this website. It's so amazing. It's great to change anything you need with, but upload the image and it's going to do the work for you if it can separate the background, and then you just download it and you're going to add it into your scene. You can also use some tools to correct it if it's not perfect and zoom in and make any adjustments you need. The next thing I wanted to show you is how to insert shapes and to format them. I have Scrabble tile looking letters in my new classroom, and so I kind of wanted to recreate that. So I simply go to insert the shape, and you can see over to the right, you can right click on a shape and click format shape, and it'll pull up this menu. I am making the fill color white, and then I'm making the border black, and then I increase the width of the border so that it's more like a frame, and then I'm just resizing it. What I usually do is I find it, I fine tune it, and then I'll copy and paste it so that way the shapes are the exact same. And this is where I'm going to put math above the board, since this year I'll be teaching math online, no science, which is a sad day. But so I'm inserting now a text box. I'm going to increase the size. And then another reason why I love to create in PowerPoint, I use my fonts that I bought on TPT. And so now I can actually use those fonts that I can't use on Google Slides, and then I'll end up importing this into my Google Slide, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So again, I'm just copying and pasting the font. So I've got the same size, the same font type, and now I'm just adding math to this. But you could add your subject and whatever you want, and you could just do one giant text box. I just liked the separate letters for this one. I've gotten everything added into my Bitmoji Classroom, and now I'm going to export my PowerPoint file as a PNG. So that way I can import it into my Google Slide. And that's where I'm going to start hyperlinking and making things clickable. So we're going to go to our Google Drive, and we are going to create a new Google Slide. So just open a blank template. I'm going to delete the text boxes out of it, so that way those are removed, and just clean it up. And now the next thing you want to do is go to background. You're going to choose an image, and when you choose a background image, it will change it to the size of your slide, which is nice. So you don't have to resize it. So now we've got our template right there. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to add my Bitmoji into the scene. Now, if you don't have your Bitmoji Chrome extension, you want to go ahead and add that. Just Google Bitmoji Chrome extension, and you do need to be in Google Chrome web browser for it to work. I'm going to just find a Bitmoji, and if you type in sit, it will bring up this Bitmoji. You can also type in pose, and it'll bring up just different ones where it's just you posing in different positions. And now I'm resizing it so that it sits right in the chair, and there we go. So just drag and drop your Bitmojis into that using the Google Chrome extension. And another one that I love is Giphy, or Jiffy, however you say it. You can do the exact same. It's a Google Chrome extension, and you can drag and drop right into your Google Slide, or really wherever you want. And it makes it super easy. Once you drag and drop it in, I have found there's always this little text box, and you need to click off of the Giphy or Jiffy. And when you click back on, you will just have the text, and then I delete it out. So what I am planning on doing with this middle portion is actually embedding a YouTube video where I might explain something for the day. I might explain how to use this Bitmoji scene, but that is what I'm leaving it blank for now. Now that we've dropped our Bitmoji in, we want to go ahead and start hyperlinking some of these images that I've created. These are important things like Infinite Campus, where students can access their grades. And so we're going to insert a shape, and then what we want to do is we want to make the shape fill transparent and the shape border transparent. So now it's literally just a shape that's overlaid onto whatever we're trying to link. And then we're going to right click, and we're going to add that link in and click apply. Now, when a student goes and hovers their mouse over that, that is going to show them the link for Infinite Campus, and they'll be able to click and navigate easily to that. Now I'm going to do another shape, and this one might be to the next slide. It could be important student information. Whatever you want it to be, really, you can do. So you can link to other websites, you can link to other slides within your presentation, but lots of ways that you can kind of make navigating easy for students and make it just easily accessible and taking them directly where you want them to go. Okay, shout out to Mr. Right is Right on TikTok. He showed the tutorial for this, and y'all, I am here for it. Let's insert a shape over, email me, and I've got the Gmail icon. This next thing is so incredible because, y'all, students had such a hard time typing in my email address correctly because my school email address is about 1,000,000 letters long. Y'all can go to this website, mailtolink.me. You can type in your email address, then you can put in a suggested body paragraph with information for them, and all you do is copy the link, and now that link is going to open a draft of an email where the student now has your name already typed in, so it's going to come to you correctly, and I've put in suggestions for things that they need to do inside their email so that they're also understanding proper email etiquette and how to be specific when they ask a question. Again, this is a game changer. Now that our Bitmoji scene is done, we are ready to publish this to the web. So we go to File, Publish to the Web, and I want to use the link feature. So I want it to launch automatically, and I clicked repeat every 1 minute so that it's always this scene on a loop. And then I copied that link that I'm going to embed in this assignment. I'm titling this, and one other important thing I wanted to note about the publish to the web feature, it's going to show that image in full screen and present mode, which I think looks cleaner. You could also use that for a narrated Google slide that would force them through the slides with certain timings. So it's a really, really cool feature. And you can see I'm just adding that link from publish to the web. I am pinning it to important student info. That's a topic I created. It's not graded and there's no due date, and I'm clicking assign. And now it's going to show up in classwork under that topic, important student info. And there it is. It is beautiful. It's full screen. The links are working. They can email me. Don't even have to type in my email address. And it is just so easy. I hope that this is going to be super simple for parents and just make everything more accessible. If you have any questions that I haven't answered yet in this tutorial, ask away below in the comments and I'll be sure to answer those. And follow me on Instagram or Teachers Pay Teachers, where I share my lessons and more. Until next time, happy teaching, and I'll see you in the virtual classroom.